Good evening and welcome back to the Behind the Leazes podcast. No Liam this week, so I'll be taking over as host, but we are joined by my usual three, Adam, Rob, Ethan. How all doing?
Good, mate. Well, not so good, but general health-wise, I'm okay. Football interest, not so good.
Adam, obviously you made the travel down to Leicester, mate. How are you feeling after that?
Well, let's not talk about Leicester, but in terms of my life, thank you.
We're gonna have to talk about it at some point.
Yeah, end the podcast now. We're not going to talk about it. It was rubbish. End it now.
Really short one this week. Rob, how are you, mate?
Yes, I'm not doing too bad. As I say, I was lucky enough to be at a family meal on Sunday, so missed most of the game, which I'm quite happy for in the end. But yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah, I think we're all quite fortunate, those that missed the game yesterday. It was a very forgettable game for Newcastle, maybe not for Leicester fans, but I mean, we've got to talk about it. So we may as well start with the most controversial moment of the match. Adam, like I mentioned, you were there. Lascelles yes, he stuck his foot out, but my God, James Maddison has jumped and gone for the light, and it's a blatant dive. Adam, what was it like from your angle? How did you see it when it happened?
Well, I'm at the opposite side of the stadium, so I saw Lascelles stuck a foot on. I see Maddison go down, so I was like, "Oh, listen, that's an obvious pen, Lascelles." But when I saw the replay at half time, it was a blatant dive. I don't understand Lascelles to begin with because one, he lost the ball for due to trying to play around the back, which never ever works. And two, I mean, if I just saw a player dive in front of us, like I'll be complaining to the referee and telling him, "Listen, we need to check VAR. That is not a penalty." So I don't know what's going on there. Yes, we obviously are going at half time 1-0 down from a penalty that wasn't a penalty, never helped the players. Second half is a disgrace, though. You got to come out and try and get back in the match. That was pathetic. 4-0 defeat. It's embarrassing. I mean, I'm sitting there and honestly, I'm laughing at times. It is embarrassing as a Newcastle fan. Yeah, I spent all that money going down all that miles just to see that performance. Lascelles had an awful game in general, not just the penalty. He had nothing to really do with the pen. But the performance itself was just tragic, and I don't want to see him play. That's how I feel about it now. And in terms of these players, I worry. I don't know where the results are going to come from. Liverpool and the Manchester teams next. They'll be rubbing their fingers, rubbing their hands looking at that result because, I mean, what could you expect? It was a terrible performance. 4-0 defeat. 4-0. I thought we were going to win 4-0 and they might lose 4-0. Absolute travesty.
Yeah, we were all quite confident we were going to see goals last week. I know I predicted 4-3 Newcastle. I got the 4 bit right, just the wrong team. Ethan, what were your thoughts after that dire performance?
Yeah, well, going off the analysis of whether it was a penalty or not, no, didn't think it was a penalty. In real time, I did. I thought it was a certainty. But what's the point of VAR? What is clear and obvious? To me, I've spoke to many people about the incident, not just the bias of Newcastle United fans. I've talked to many other fans and their opinions, and all of them pretty much say James Maddison dived and it wasn't a penalty. Why VAR couldn't make that decision, I don't know. But again, I felt that maybe it was a little bit naive and a bit desperate of Jamal Lascelles to stick a leg out anyway. He could have made contact on another day and he might have gone down more justly, James Maddison. But he took advantage of it on this occasion. And then, yeah, from then on, that was the game pretty much done. I didn't feel that Newcastle were going to get back into it at any point. They didn't really threaten at all. And yeah, it was a disappointing day.
Rob, it's not the first time that Newcastle have given a penalty away this season, and certainly not in the case where VAR's been involved. Obviously, wasn't involved yesterday, and it's not the first time Lascelles has been involved either. Do you think it is time for Lascelles to stand down and hand the captaincy over to someone else, maybe like Callum Wilson, who had it for the Norwich game?
I mean, it's definitely something that could benefit him potentially. Again, you know what? I think every Newcastle fan always wishes the players to do well. You know, we're not sitting here hoping Lascelles has a bad game. If anything, everyone's praying when he is on the pitch that he has sorted himself out and that he'll come out and do something. But at the same time, we're all realistic and he's not playing well. We all know Fernandez is a better defender. And to a point, you know, it makes me wonder what Eddie Howe's doing as well, because he's got a player who's clearly down on his luck. He's not playing well. He's getting stick left, right, and centre, and we'll keep playing him. Give the lad a break. Give the armband to Wilson for a month. Let our best defender actually play. So not only is are we benefiting because Fernandes plays, the team benefits because Fernandes plays. And I honestly think Lascelles benefits from having some time out of this team because it's just relentless at the minute. He's getting battered around. He's playing badly. And no doubt he's getting a lot of stick for it. So, yeah, he had another bad game. I don't think we can say much more than what we've been saying for the last month, which is that he's not in good form, and I think we should be leaving him out.
Yeah, the spirits were high last weekend after we'd getting our first win of the season. I mean, I got carried away, didn't I? But it's just we're now in the position where we've got so many games in such little time, so we do need to be rotating. So maybe we might see Fernandes come in against Liverpool because God knows we need him. Adam, for you, yesterday, was there any standout performances for you? Anyone that you would maybe think deserved a little bit of credit?
I think Joe Linton did actually have a good game. Yes, the attack wasn't good, so we didn't create anything, but Joe Linton, he's constantly come back, helping the midfield out. He was just relentless. 90 minutes as constantly trying to help the team out. And unfortunately, in the end, you had 10 players just didn't really turn up. I thought there was a couple of average players in there, but pretty much all of them had a bad game. I think Sir Maximin, I was really frustrated with him yesterday. He was hogging the ball way too much. He does too much work. There's players off to Jamal Lewis. He's just behind you waiting for the ball. The last couple of games as well, he's really started getting my skin quite a bit. So again, not good from Sir Max. I thought Aaron, I know his position's obviously not great in terms of how he plays, but again, did nothing. Wilson just has no service getting forward. When he has no service as a striker getting forward, you're going to have a bad game. It's just how it is. Joe Linton was okay. That was it, really. I thought Willock was terrible again yesterday. I don't know what's happened to him this season. It's just the same people week in, week out. You just say it's annoying. It is annoying now. I felt like, apart from Fernandes, that was our best possible team put out, and we still played like that. It is worrying.
Yeah, there's lots for Newcastle United to be thinking about doing in January, certainly. And I mean, we've got so many players playing out of position. You mentioned Willock having a terrible game there yesterday. I just think it looks like he's lost his interest. I mean, we played him as a number 10 last season. He is a number 10. And we keep playing the likes of him and Almiron as centre midfielders when they're not these ball-winning tough tacklers, which we really need at the minute because our defence is, let's be honest, rubbish. We need midfielders who can win a ball, and Willock's not that. Willock's someone that should be sitting just behind Wilson and getting these scrappy finishes in, or the one-touch finishes in the box, which he proved he's brilliant at when we brought him in.
I would argue, Andy, maybe putting Joe Linton back wide side. I know Joe Linton, it looked like, started up front with Callum Wilson. The problem with Joe Linton, though, is, of course, he's playing well at the minute and he's working really hard. But Joe Linton doesn't get returns. He doesn't. He's proved that he doesn't do that. I know he's playing well at the minute, but he's not getting returns. Joe Willock can. We saw it last season. He went on that fantastic run when he was scoring, and Newcastle could really do with that at the minute. So I just say play him in his preferred position, and maybe that will get him back into form and spur the team back onto winning ways as well, hopefully.
I agree, mate. Would that be you would have Joe Linton and Maxi out wide, or to be honest,
that would be my two wingers. I think I would do that. Willock is a 10. I mean, you could play Almiron in that position as well, but I think Willock's more dangerous. Like I said last season, he really delivered. And Newcastle need players who, of course, Joe Linton's playing well at the minute, take nothing away from him, but he doesn't get goals and he doesn't really assist an awful lot neither. And I think Willock could be more productive in that position.
Rob, I think it's starting to get a lot of chatter now. St. Maximin, last few games, I mean, for me, terrible. He's just a lot of dribbling, a lot of losing the ball. What's your thoughts at the minute, mate?
Yeah, and again, I would still say that St. Max is a key part of our team, alongside someone like Wilson is a player that I would still continue to play in the team, but I definitely don't think that he can't be criticised. He hasn't been great. The whole team hasn't been great, and just because he can he's that kind of player that you always want on the pitch because you never know when he might get a goal. It's Wilson cannot touch the ball for 70 minutes, but put the ball in the net, and it's still worth having him on there. So I would still definitely say that St. Max is worthy of his place in the side. But again, we talk about players, who aren't playing great and are playing repeatedly. Maybe leaving St. Max out for a game might make him reassess his situation because at the moment he plays regardless of whether he's good or not. And it's probably a confidence thing as well, as we say, that the whole team isn't playing well together. What we need right now are players who will pick themselves up and put in some graft and really give it a good shift. And at the minute, St. Max doesn't look too bothered, does he? Which is hard to watch, but. Yeah, Eddie Howe's going to have to, I don't know whether he puts his arm around him or whether he gives him a kick up the arse, but he needs to do one way or the other because we need these players to be playing, and St. Max isn't at the moment.
Yeah, I completely agree that maybe it does need to maybe miss out on a game. And I mean, look, Liverpool's a nothing game. I think we all know that we're not going to go and get a result down there. And I mean, it's sad to see because I mean, Villa pushed them at the weekend, made them play for the 3 points, but we can't do that. We proved at Leicester yesterday we can't do that. Adam, you'll be there at the Liverpool game. What's your thoughts going into it? What do you see happening from Newcastle?
Well, I thought Leicester was the winnable game. We lost that yesterday 4-0. So if I thought that was winnable, what do I think Liverpool is when I don't think that's a winnable game? I think we're screwed. I think Salah and Mane are both be buzzing for this game. I think both of them will absolutely tear us a new one. The only chance we have is if Liverpool play bad. That's it. If Liverpool play decent or good, they'll win. It's just how it is. I think like Newcastle, if they want to change stuff, now is the best time because, again, this is just a game that you can kind of throw away and just go, all right, try again next time. But I mean, we haven't won at Anfield about 35 years in the first place. So imagine when Liverpool actually are world class and we're rubbish. So it's just a disaster. It's a disaster written all over it. If the scoreline's below what the Leicester one was, I'll be happy. But again, no, it's honestly 4, 5, 6.
Ethan, do you think Klopp could even maybe take this as an easy game? Do you think he might rotate with them maybe having harder games coming up? Because I think if I was in his position, I mean, Salah's been firing on all cylinders, but I'd maybe just not risk him because.
Well, if you could persuade Jurgen Klopp, Andy, not to play no Salah, I'd be a happy man.
I mean, I would love to be honest, but
no, I think the likes of Mohamed Salah will play. Diogo Jota only played maybe half an hour the other day, so I think he's ready to come back in. No, I think Liverpool are they're going to stick with their best 11, and I think it would be, and I know Eddie Howe's changing things up and he's been more confident. He wants to press, he wants to harry teams. We can't do that against Liverpool, and I think it would be sensible if we reverted to playing 5 at the back. A lot of people would think, well, why would you do that? Why would you want to go back to something we've been sick of after seeing it for so long? But I think it would be naive to go into that game playing a back 4. You'd have more of a chance of reducing the scoreline or maybe nicking anything if you want to be that optimistic if you play 5 defenders, because again, we're not good enough to play 4. So put 3 centre-halves in there, I would argue. And that's the only way I could see Newcastle getting a result against a Liverpool team who I think will go full throttle.
Rob, do you agree with Ethan that maybe going 5 at the back and that maybe our main objective from the Liverpool game is to just protect our goal difference as much as we possibly can?
It's such a sad thing to talk about, really, because all I want us to do is go out and give it a go, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to disagree. As I say, like Adam said, we've lost 4-0 against Leicester. I mean, it could be 8 against Liverpool, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I think no Newcastle fan would begrudge Eddie Howe playing 5 at the back, even with 5 at the back with Hayden and everyone defending in the middle, to be honest. And then, as you say, try and get a set piece, try and get a goal. The worry is if they score first and it's early on, we are going to be climbing a mountain from the get-go. So, and again, this is the thing. Do I trust our defence to even hold on long enough to keep us in the game? That's the next thing. Or are we better off just going full throttle and trying to get a goal early ourselves and then hold on. I mean, it's going to be really tough, whatever way you look at it. And yeah, give me a point now, and I'd rip both your arms and a leg off, to be honest, at this point.
Just the one leg?
Yeah, both.
We'll move on. That's Thursday night. And then Sunday, City just gets better, doesn't it? This run of games, honestly, it does make us want to cry now. Never mind at 90 minutes of any of the games. Adam, City at home. We're not going to get 3 points in this game, are we?
I mean, probably not, no. I do feel like this one's more realistic in Liverpool at home. I mean, City have not the best at St James's Park. I know they've won there a couple of times over the last few years, but they've only been 1-0s, 2-1s. I feel like the home fans are ready for it, of course, to be ready. And just had to say, really, I think the Liverpool match will dictate quite a bit as well, because obviously we go down there on Thursday and we lose like 6-0. I don't think we're going to beat Man City on Sunday. So if we go down there and have an actual reasonable scoreline against Liverpool, then I think we'll have a chance against City. But again, it just depends on that. And also players-wise, the likes of Leicester play again against Liverpool and dropping our disaster class. And I mean, against Man City, it's going to be the same situation, really. So we see how the Liverpool game goes. But in terms of City one, I think it's the more realistic of the two. But I still think it's obviously a mountain to try and get up.
Ethan, obviously, we went to uni at the Etihad. We've seen City play many a time. We know just how good that City team are on the best day. Mate, I'm terrified. I mean, Liverpool are good, but Christ, City, when they play, they can just play anyone off the pitch. I mean, last season, not in front of fans, was 4-3, I think I'm right in saying. Ferran Torres hat-trick. City haven't got a striker, but they've still shown they can score goals. Ethan, what would be your way of playing this game if you were Eddie Howe?
Well, you'll be delighted to hear, Andy, after the press conferences today from Pep Guardiola, he's only got one player injured in that Man City team, and that's Ferran Torres. So everyone else is fit. So I assume if he's not playing, we've got a massive chance of getting a result. No, sadly not. That Man City team, the options they've got, they're on form at the minute. We're not. It's black and white, Andy, sadly. I don't really think I need to give too much analysis into this. That Man City team are going to boss Newcastle around. And to the disappointment of Rob's ears, I would protest that we go back to a 5-back once again for the next 3 fixtures. Work on it, try and work on the training ground this week and try and get that shape correct. If it doesn't go well against Liverpool, work on it again and try and get it correct for the Manchester City game. That's what Newcastle need to do. They need to try and reduce the deficit as much as possible, and only then do they have a chance of getting anything from either game. Let's calm down with the optimistic pressing football against these teams, because Man City and Liverpool can just knock it round you very easily and go score a few goals.
Rob, in that Man City squad, who's the one that you're most terrified of at the minute?
I mean, it's Bernardo Silva, isn't it, at the minute, who's playing some incredible football. He's definitely the one to watch out for. I like the cat, Adam. He wants to get what's his score prediction. Yeah, Bernardo Silva's the one to watch out for. Again, as we say, even with 5 at the back, we'll struggle to defend. I do think it could be, as Adam says, I do see us with a slight better chance against Man City. I think the fact that we are at home, and again, I think Liverpool's counter-attacking football really will hurt us. I think Man City can do it as well. One thing Man City seem to do is they'll score one and then happily just pass it around the back for the next 80 minutes. So in that game, it's almost a worry that if we go too long without scoring and then they score, they'll just keep the ball and we'll never see it again. They would happily win. They could easily score 1 goal in the first 5 minutes and then we won't see the ball for the rest of the game. So I'm almost tempted to, as I say, we'll talk about getting a late goal against Liverpool. I'll be tempted to say we need an early goal against Manchester City, because if they get 1 or 2, we literally won't see the ball for the whole of the second half. So, yeah, I think Eddie Howe's definitely got a lot of thinking to do going into these ones.
Well, sorry, just to add to that, Rob, you might remember a few years ago when we beat Man City 2-1 under Rafael Benitez, and we conceded within the first minute, Aguero. So maybe it would be a tactic to concede really early on, let Man City have the ball, thinking everything's all well and good, and then go for them like we did in that game, which was obviously tactical from Rafa, and he intended that. So why not do that again? Is my plea to Eddie Howe.
That's a good point. Yeah,
I think, like Rob's just said, that City can happily go 1-0 up, and because they've got the players to pass the ball around, I think that game is screaming a daft red card from us. I think I don't think we'll finish that game with 11 man. I think potentially we could end up getting absolutely tonked by Liverpool on Thursday night, come in with frustrations from that game because it's only 3 days after, and I think we could end up with a daft red card. Maybe someone like Leazes just giving away like a Kieran Clark sort of situation. Yeah, well, it would, mate. It would. It really would. I think very much all eyes are on Everton. Anyway, look, we've talked about the next two games and talked about how much we're likely to get beat by. Adam, Cambridge United in the third round of the FA Cup. Hopefully that's a game we can win.
Yeah, good draw for Newcastle. That one gives us a chance to try out some of the bench format. Really. An easy game, you would say. I mean, it should be anyway. I said it's against like Rochdale and Oxford. We had to do replays in both of them. So never say never in the FA Cup. It is always magical, but it should be an easy game for Newcastle. A good chance to just get the home fans going. Really, a good chance to test some of these players that don't play. Like I said, Gale. I think Gale is a big one I would play in that game. Just these sort of players, give them a chance, and maybe he's a player in there that might play for the first team, or maybe he's an under 23 player, might give a chance in the Cambridge game. Just something different. I'm sick of seeing these same clowns play week in, week out, so it'll be good to see some different, fresh faces in. But it should be an easy win, which is the most important part.
Adam, you go to a load of the under 23 games. Is there maybe someone from that team you would like to see play against Cambridge?
Probably Dylan Stevens, I would say. He's been scoring non-stop this season, so yeah, I think he deserves a chance off the bench against Cambridge. Why not?
Ethan, what would you like to maybe see in that Cambridge game? I know for me, the last time we played in the last time I went to a cup game where we played lower league opposition was Nottingham Forest when we got beaten extra time. I would maybe like to see it as a last game for a couple of the players we've got in the squad that we need clearing out. Maybe Jeff Hendrick could do a Grant Hanley, and maybe he would go after that game. I don't know about you, mate. What would you like to see from the Cambridge game?
That's very possible. It might be a last game where we see some of these faces bow out. We obviously heard Eddie Howe saying that he really wants players to prove a point in December to say they want to be part of this long-term project. I think there's going to be a lot of players getting kicked out now. I think the likes of Jeff Hendrick, like you said. But yeah, looking forward to that game. In particular, I like Adam's suggestions. I don't know enough about the under 23s. Yeah, why not give a few of the young lads a go, see what they can prove. You never know. Last player who I can remember really doing that, who had a little bit of success. We had obviously Matty Longstaff coming through, and that works a treat, didn't it? So maybe there's a player like that who could maybe have an impact for the Man United game. But yeah, who knows? Let's experiment. Let the players get a little bit of confidence back again after the inevitable thrashings to come, and hopefully we can progress in the cup, because that would be something to look forward to.
Rob, do you think we could maybe go on a cup run this year, or do you think that's way out of the picture?
You know what it is. It's such weird timing, because I think for years we've stayed in the Prem and we're never going to do anything. We'll stay up, but we're not going anywhere. We'll want to see a cup run. That'll be the excitement. I think it's the first time in a few years now where I'm actually like, I'm literally not bothered about a cup run, to be honest. I just want to see us stay in the Premier League. We've finally got the new owners that we wanted, and now it looks like we're going to have them in the Championship. So if giving up on the cup run means that we might help us stay up, then I think I would probably happily do that, to be honest. But as the lads say, I think, even with under 23s and second string players from our first team, I still think we should have enough to be beating a League One side, regardless. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a nice change. And normally with these games, I think it costs a tenner or even a fiver for the kids, and it's a good chance for everyone to go who doesn't normally get to see the team. So fingers crossed we can get a win in that one.
Yeah, God, I hope. But like you said, the last FA Cup game I went to was tell a lie. The last FA Cup game I went to was the Oxford one, and we all know how that ended up. The replay down at Oxford, 2-0 up, going into the last 10 minutes. I turned to my mate. We're in the Friendship in Fallowfield, Ethan.
Oh yeah,
well,
I know it well.
Seth turned to Sam and went, Newcastle will do a very Newcastle United thing here and concede 2 goals in the last 10 minutes and it'll go to extra time. And needless to say, what happened? We won't talk about Alan St. Maximin's wonder goal and the celebrations that happened after, because that's probably for the best. But the last thing we need is to get a draw at home to them and then go and play a replay down at Cambridge and play more games. It's the last thing we need. We have had a great comment come in from Mark, who says, there we go, which would be a more important signing, decent defender or someone to take the pressure off of Wilson up top? Adam, I'll come to you first on this one. What do you think, mate?
It has to be the defender for me. I think the attack's actually pretty good. Yes, if Wilson gets injured, we haven't got anyone in the striker role, but I feel like going forward, we're actually pretty good the majority of the time. The defensively, we're awful week in, week out, so that has to be changed up for me. There's too many defenders at this football club that are just awful. We have the worst defence in the league, in my opinion. And considering Norwich is in this league, I mean, that's bad. But yeah, I would definitely get the defender over the attacker personally.
Ethan?
Yeah, it's going to be a defender. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, Newcastle can't play with a back four. They're not good enough to play with a back four, so they need to simply purchase players who can do that. It's not about who's better, Fernandes, Cher, or Lascelles, and what combination. It's not about that. In any combination, it's not good enough. It's not fine for the Premier League. It's unacceptable for the Premier League. So they need a new centre-half. They might need 2 new centre-halves to make that work. So the thing that they should be looking back definitely is the defenders, because the attack, they can score goals, Andy. That team's got goals in them. They just need to stop it at the other end. And that's the only way that they can have a chance of staying in the league.
Well, I totally agree, mate, with the goals things. I mean, Callum Wilson's shown that when he gets the when he gets the chances, he puts them away 9 times out of 10. Rob, are you in agreement with Adam and Ethan that it's a defender?
Yeah, well, as we say, I mean, you look at the Brentford game as an example. It was 3-3. You know, it's not often you score 3 goals and you still don't manage to win it, and that was because of our defence not being strong enough to keep them out. I do agree with Adam as well, though, that Wilson up top, I mean, he's always just, one move away from an injury, and we've got no goals. So that is definitely another position we need. I mean, I'm going to touch wood and pray to God that nothing does happen to him. But as I say, we'll talk about goals being, good for us at the moment. I definitely still think some sort of addition in the attacking place is also quite necessary.
Yeah, we'll go around the room on this because we're pretty much in agreement that it's a defender we need in. First, Adam, for you, which defender would you like to see come into the club?
Well, I think Tarkowski or Cody are 2 realistic ones. I mean, you're going to hear these 2 loads of times for the next couple of months, but yeah, I'm a big fan of both of them. I feel like the Premier League teams around us, it's important as well to buy from clubs around us to try and make them weaker as well as make us stronger. So those are 2 ones I would go for personally. I feel like they have to have Premier League experience. We haven't got the time in games to be testing players out. They've got to be ready to go straight away. So I'm going to go Connor Cody personally, but I think those 2 are probably the best realistic ones we can get.
Ethan, who would you say, mate?
I was just thinking about that, actually. I'm not too sure. Obviously, I know I suggested, again with Adam, I suggested Tarkowski the other day. That would be okay, I think. Obviously, there's been talks of maybe Connor Cody. A lot of Wolves fans don't rate him incredibly highly, though. He's a decent centre-half, but will he be the answer to Newcastle's defensive crisis? I don't know.
I don't think Wolves would let him go. I think that's a problem.
That's another, and why would Burnley sell Tarkowski to Newcastle, who are in a relegation fight with them? I mean, why would they do that? It would be suicide.
Burnley would be happy, I think, if we give them a good fee for him. Bearing in mind he's out of contract at the end of the season.
Okay.
I think for a good fee, I think Burnley would snap our hands off.
Well,
But
the money's not an issue for Newcastle, is
well,
it?
exactly.
If they want to offer a good fee for James Tarkowski and it makes a difference, fine. If there's anyone else who I'd pick off the Premier League at the minute who's available, there's no one who's standing out to me at the moment. I might have to have a look at the table and have a look at a few defenders who might possibly come to mind. But yeah, let's go with Tarkowski at the minute because, like you said, it might be possible. So anyone else would be good as long as that fella Jamal Lascelles isn't playing week in, week out. I'll be happy.
Rob, to echo Ethan's thoughts, is there anyone you would like to see come in?
Well, you asked the question of who I'd like to see come in and who I think will come in. I can see Mark's put another comment in there.
Yeah, Mark has put a great suggestion
150 for Van Dijk. I mean, yes. Who would I like to see? I mean,
Premier League title competitors, Liverpool, relegation scrap, Newcastle. I don't know.
I know exactly. And I mean, I've just quickly tried to Google it there to just flood my head with a few ideas, and the first thing that pops up is 40 defensive transfer targets for Newcastle this January. So I mean, it's easy to say we've been linked with pretty much everyone in the world. And to be honest, it's going to be very interesting because again, I would agree. I think Tarkowski. I think Burnley are in a different situation, and I think if you offered them 15 million, I just think for a club like them, they would definitely take it because it would make a massive difference to what they can do and the longevity of the club and everything like that. But at the same time, it's the same names that keep popping up over and over again. And I'll be very interested to know whether Eddie Howe's on the same page or whether he's got a completely different couple of players that he's interested in. So I've seen that Jansen from Brentford got linked earlier today as well. I think he's the guy who scored the goal the other day. But, well, again, it's tough. I would be tempted to look at players who, or maybe, Chelsea or underplayed players at higher level teams rather than just trying to pick up players from around us. Although, to be fair, if we put half of everyone else's team, it would mean we've got more chance of staying up. But, we'll have to see what we can do.
We've all spoke about Premier League defenders coming in. I mean, I think that's a risk when you're in the position where we're in the relegation spots, is that you do want proven Premier League players to come in. The main problem is that these players are going to come in, well, they know what the crack is in the Premier League. We've been linked with players like Botman from Lille. I've seen that today, and the one that won't go away, and I wish would happen. And I think he's the one I would love to see us bring in January, is Niklas Süle from Bayern Munich. He's an absolute unit of a defender. Got a bit of pace about him too. Adam, would you like us to see? I know you said that you would like to see us bring Premier League proven players in, but would you take the risk of bringing a foreign player in now?
Well, you're asking me if I want to have Kieran Clark or Nicholas.
Fair enough. You've answered that one well.
A player like Süle, he is a good player. He's got experience in the Champions League, etc. I'm all for bringing top-level players in. Again, obviously, I haven't played the Premier League before, but I think a player like Süle would be able to play against Leicester, Norwich and Burnley.
Right, so we've talked about January, which is in the new year. We've been asked to talk about what New Year's resolution we'd want for Newcastle. I said before we came on air to stop being Ethan, what would your New Year's resolution be for Newcastle United?
What, apart from win a game of football? What, do I need to be more creative?
We sound so beaten. It's just how we've had it drilled out of us. Since last week, we won a game of football last week. You wouldn't have thought it.
New Year's resolution. Apart from saying win a game of football, if I could be a little bit more creative, how about I don't know, Andy. I don't know. How about Julian scoring 5 goals for the season? That would be nice, wouldn't it? What a lovely little thing that would be to take down into the Championship. What a little lovely monument that would be. So there's a New Year's resolution for you.
You put them in against Everton, man. You'll smash that before we go into January.
Well, hopefully we'll see. That would be nice if you could get an early New Year's treat from Julian and a hat-trick against Everton. That'll be me happy. Let's do that, Big Joe.
Rob, what's your resolution for Newcastle, mate?
The first thing that popped up in my head, I feel like it sounds a little bit corny, to be honest, but I'm gonna run with it. I think at the end of the day, we've spoken about Newcastle for years now, and although the new owners are coming in, we want to see money spent in January. We want to stay up. Relegation is a very serious threat at the minute, and one thing we certainly haven't seen in the last couple of games is a full effort from the side. My resolution would be I want to see 100% from this team. I want us to, if we do go down, I want to see us do fighting. I want us to literally give every last inch before it happens. I feel like some of the players look like they've given up already. I want to see a good effort. I want us to look back on the season and go, you know what? It didn't work out the way we hoped, but at least we gave it a good go.
I withdraw my answer and say, yeah, Rob's was a lot better. Let's go with that.
Adam, you're a man going to every game. You're seeing the most of Newcastle United this season. What would your resolution be for the club going into the new year?
My resolution would be to drop Jamal Leazes and not play him ever again. I've had enough. I don't see him play anymore for this football club. I don't care. I don't care.
I think our mate Chris here. I think he's in agreement there, Adam. He says Jamal and Clark need to go, and I think
anymore. To be honest, I feel like Clark. He wasn't even on the bench yesterday for the Leicester game, so that's what Eddie Howe thinks of him already. So I don't think he'll ever see the light of day again.
I think I'd agree with Chris. I think my resolution would be to empty out the dead wood and just get rid of the players that are taking up the wage bill and get that down, and just add a bit more towards the financial fair play. So in the summer when we stay up, we can go daft and have a bit of a war chest.
Sorry, Andy, just to add to that, because I remember Rob at the start of the podcast, he said obviously we do want players like Jamal Lascelles to do well, and I do want all these players to do well, and I do like this squad from the last few years, especially under Benitez, and a lot of these players got us back to the Premier League, and I do really love some of these players. They've done a lot for the club, but it's got to the point now, sadly, where it's beginning to fizzle out. We're in danger, and we do need to have an overhaul, and we've got the perfect opportunity now with a new ownership and a transfer window coming up that it would make sense. But obviously, I don't hate these players. I don't hate Jamal Lascelles. He's just not playing well, and we need to move on now because at the end of the day, we Newcastle United's more important than just the players, and that's where we have to put our support to, and that's why we need new players.
We'll end on this one, lads. Adam, where do you think come May Newcastle United will be in the league table?
I do think it's gonna happen. 18th or 19th. I think Norwich will finish below us. I would love to see us stay up. I would love to see it happen, but I feel like we needed the points before the window opens, and we've currently got one win, and it's probably not going to get any more before the new year. So, I do fear it's going to be the killer, and I don't see us staying up.
Fair enough. Ethan?
I think Newcastle, sadly, will finish 19th. I think I've been a bit of a realist here. One problem, I know we've had to talk about the transfer window. I am a little bit worried about what players would actually want to join if after this horrible run of games that we've got coming up, if it does go badly, if we do get battered every match and we fail to pick up a point, who would want to join? Unless you want to really throw the money at them and pay them all the money in the world. That's what makes me a little bit worried. So, 19th is my answer, Andy.
Yeah, Brian's got the same concerns as you there, mate, saying Tarkowski and Cody won't be signing for Newcastle United. Calm down and trust the new custodians. I very much do trust them. Obviously, Mark's put in here as well about do we need a director of football before January? I'd like to hope so. I mean, we've still got a few weeks before we see in the new year. I think it will be the case that we do look abroad in this January transfer window. I don't see any Premier League players wanting to come to the club when they're in a relegation scrap.
Or Premier League clubs wanting to negotiate with Newcastle at the minute. That's
that is a big problem. Rob, where do you see us ended up in May, mate?
I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to I'm going to say 17th. I think I have to need someone in here needs to keep some positivity around. I thought it was going to be Adam, to be honest, but it's going to have to be me today. Yeah, I agree with Ethan. I honestly can't see us really with any points going into January, and because of that, I can see us really struggling to sign anyone. And if that's what happens in January, then I think we probably are done, to be honest. I think the emphasis on bringing in signings has just been proved tenfold in the last few games. And as I say, 17th is based on the fact that we have a good window. So I'm praying for that.
Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with you, mate. I don't know whether it's naivety or the belief that we're going to do some good business in January, but I think we can scrape out of it 17th. I still think a lot of the teams around us aren't as, like, their depth and quality in the squad isn't as good as ours. They haven't got the finance that we do have in January to be able to go and bring some actual quality into the squad. I think we can do it. I think we've seen the likes of Watford, Burnley, Norwich have shown they're not going to be a threat. Brentford, their new season, new league bounce will come to an end soon. I think, I don't know whether I'm being naive, lads. You can tell us that, but I think Newcastle can pull this round and do it.
Why not,
The
Andy?
most unlikely thing Newcastle could do and stay up. And I think it'll start with, look, next 3 games, anything we'll get out of them, even if it's just a point, I'll be buzzing. But I think Everton, I'm going to go full Keegan. I think I'm maybe even perhaps wearing the same training gear where he goes full. But I'm going to go full Keegan. I would love if we beat Everton. We've got our mate Dave who will love giving it to him whenever we play Everton. So, Christ, lads, please just turn
Agent
up for that
Rafa's going to sort us out, mate. Don't you worry
mate,
about that.
You'll love it. You'll love it. No, I think we can do this. We can bounce back, and I think it'll start with Everton at the end of the month. We'll go in. We'll beat Cambridge at home, and just get off to a good 2022. And,
Hey, it's a good roadmap, this, Andy. It's all planned out. Fantastic.
On that note, we'll leave it on a positive ending, as positive as we can after the tonguing we had yesterday. Thanks so much, everyone that's joined in tonight. Left your comments. We'd love to see that, and we'll be back next week reacting to Liverpool and Man City. Hopefully Newcastle have conceded less than 10 goals between the 2 games, but I think it's highly doubtful. But we'll see you next week. And thanks for joining us. Bye.